Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2026 Pirate National Conference. Hoist the colors and spill the tea. 20 years of Pirate. I am honored to join you as captain of the United States Pirate Party. My name is Chair Mitch Davilo. I came all the way from the Illinois NY, the Chicagoland Pirate Party. And I am, as always, a friend of the show. We are celebrating today 20 years of Pirate. On June 6, 2006, the Pirate Party was founded at the University of Georgia. And 20 years later, we're here in Boston, Massachusetts, celebrating 20 years of Pirate. Before I actually get started with the speech that I wrote, I want to thank the Massachusetts Pirates. Without Jamie, without Joe, without Steve, without Eli, all of you, you guys, none of this, and I'm sorry, Christina, none of you, all of you together have made this such an incredible experience. I'm so glad I came out this weekend. Hunter Rose, for you guys to come out from the West, the Wild West, to be out here is incredible. So thank you all. And of course, everyone who's attended, everyone who's attending on live stream, everyone who's tuning in at home, thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to briefly talk about the Pirate Party, what it means to me, what these last 20 years have meant, and what I see us doing in 20 years. 20 years ago, on this day at the University of Georgia, 2 college students decided to take Sweden's Pirate Party movement international, founding only the second pirate party in the world. June 6 seems to have set off a chain reaction, as by the end of the year, there were 8 pirate parties. Come the 2010s, the movement had 15 pirate parties worldwide and would continue to see that growth. Even today, we see that growth. Some parties that were founded early have since folded. Some folded and came back as another iteration. But this little party of ours, the one that has hopped on the Swedish-built train first, has never folded and never faltered. We have survived goofs, gaffes, shakeups, shakedowns, instigators, instability, good times and bad. We have endured all life and the living have to have thrown at us, and 20 years after the founding of this party, we still stand today. Notice the pronoun, we, the collective, because that's what we are. The United States Pirate Party is not defined by one individual or represented by one ideology. Without the volunteers, the lifeblood of this party, there would be no party. I, of course, found out about this party much sooner than the 20-year anniversary date. My entry into this party came as a 21-year-old with grand political ambitions, far grander than anyone in my position had any right to have. On May 21st, 2018, I reached out to then-Captain Liz Gorski, informing her of my interest in the party. At the time, I was considering a write-in campaign for Chicago's Metropolitan Water Reclamation District Commissioner. In that email, I warned her, and I quote, "If I were to run, I don't plan on being a typical candidate. My whole campaign has been lighthearted but serious approach. I always talk about not wanting another career politician or cog in the machine, but an average American working to represent average Americans. I don't plan on wearing a shirt and tie and making false promises. I dream of being at my own rally and blending in with everyone in the room. I want to do things differently." Now, while I want to chuckle and scoff at a 21-year-old writing about and having such ambitions, I stand before you today, duly elected captain of the United States Pirate Party. I also stand before you not wearing a shirt or tie, nor have I ever had the makings of a career politician. In fact, as I stand before you in flip-flops, I can't help but admit the 8-year-old email may have been a little prophetic. The reason I reached out to the Pirate Party was that I felt it represented my views better than anyone else. Perhaps more importantly, I felt as though this party would allow me myself. And I was right. This party has been a safe harbor to all, except for the enemies of liberty. Anarchists, socialists, communists, Georgists, libertarians, self-described centrists, single-issue privacy advocates, and many more under the sun have found their way to the party in some way, shape, or form and decided to call it home. I decided to finally call this place home in April of 2020 when I decided I would run for U.S. Congress. Now, I have to be clear. The United States Pirate Party always, always, always advocates that pirates run locally because that's where change will be felt the most. The highest we ever advise typically would be state rep. That said, a then 23-year-old with ambitions exceeding past the bounds of reality set a course for my involvement, and the Pirate Party allowed me to try and support my campaign along the way. Besides the signature requirements being impossible, I was also arguably the worst candidate in the history of congressional candidates. Unqualified, underpaid, undereducated, and admittedly uninspired, and thus maybe a little more than I would like to admit, lazy. I, at the very least, was holding up my promise of not wanting to look or be a career politician. Mercifully, a quarter-life crisis, or perhaps a wake-up call occurred. It was now early 2022. I was 25, and it was the last year of my parents' health insurance. I'd gone back to school, but I had a passion I felt time was ticking on, and that was pro wrestling. During those crucial months where signature collection was absolutely necessary, I went to professional wrestling school in the Detroit Metro and ended my then 2+ year campaign. I don't believe anyone was shocked or truthfully too disappointed. Everyone in the party supported my decisions, supported my dreams, and didn't hold the wasted time against me. I would venture to say dropping the campaign for wrestling school was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'm thankful I didn't lose the support of the Pirate Party. So grateful that I believe my newly found lease on life benefited the Pirate Party in the grand scheme. I had a different mindset. I had a reason for being. I won't mince words when I tell you the Pirate Party received the worst version of me they could have when they first got me. And yet that didn't change their support. And I was determined to pay them back for supporting me through the roughest period of my life. The United States Pirate Party got the worst of me. From 2023 onward, I would work to give them the best of me. I spent 2 years as swarm care manager early into my being here, and as well as finishing a run in the term of lookout. From 2023 to 2025, I held no position on the Pirate National Committee. I believe it was this time where I could dedicate myself as additional help and not a board member that changed me for the better. In 2024, I came to Massachusetts to help Joseph Honorowski's campaign for the first time, flying in to help collect signatures. That same year, the 2024 Pirate National Conference took place in Chicagoland, granting me the opportunity to organize our first in-person conference in years up to that point. I had suggested a coalition with a fellow minor party, leading to all hands for a free future with the U.S. Transhumanist Party, and long live the Handies. I began contributing more content to the Pirate Party website. My Through the Spyglass project found life on the website, all with the intention of looking at things from a Pirate Party perspective. Truthfully, I believe it was May 1st of 2025 did I believe something had shifted. I don't know if it was a shift from who I was to who I am, but yet it was emblematic of the trust and faith the party has put into me and the comfort I found within the party. I wrote the article Mayday and the Hobo. In it, I talked about hobos, reclaiming their dignity, and said we were cut from the same cloth. And not only was I not in trouble with anyone from the party for such a move, I was praised for it. All feedback was positive. I believe the trust was established. I believe the wider party apparatus, all the volunteers, could see an article like that could only come from someone who truly understood and admired the Pirate Party. To play such a risky maneuver, one that could have easily backfired if handled poorly, and be met with nothing but positivity, told me something had truly shifted. And 2 months later, I was captain. I do not hold lightly the position of captain. I believe I was granted this role not because I'm the most qualified, but because I could represent this party with the dignity, integrity, and respect it deserves. The respect that everyone who volunteers their time for this party deserves. My leadership philosophy can be summed up with this quote from G.D.H. Cole. In democracy, the leader stands in an essentially different relation to those whom he leads, and instead of substituting his will for theirs, aims at carrying out not their real will as interpreted by him, but their actual will as understood by themselves. I seek to be the leader that carries out the will of every single volunteer and supporter of this party. Knowing I cannot be captain forever, I take seriously my time in being able to take on that task. I look to emulate and learn the lessons from the captains who came before me, the Kleins, Porters, and Binghamans who came before me, the captains I was lucky enough to work with. I thank each and every one that taught me lessons I could bring to the table today. I will never take for granted the role bestowed upon me by this party, the volunteers that make this party live and breathe. I am your captain, and I love this party. We didn't survive 20 years because we were lucky. We survived 20 years because we have the most dedicated volunteers in the world. This party of ours, this open source project of sorts, holds in its DNA the fingerprints of everyone who has contributed their free time to improving this party. We will survive the next 20 years because that formula will not change. 20 years from now, our party will be in better shape than we are now. 20 years from our founding, we are farther than anyone could have ever imagined. Certainly farther than 2 University of Georgia students could have ever imagined. It is your commitment, those who believe in the values of this party, who make this party. So this is a thank you, because without you, there is no 20-year anniversary. And without you, there will not be 20 more years. Do you know why I love this party? I love this party because we were the first to raise awareness on the issue of copyright and patent reform. I love this party because their commitment to a free and open culture is always kept. I love this party because we believe the United States should be a good neighbor. We believe in cool, clean water, like Hank said. And we believe if purchasing isn't ownership, well, then piracy isn't theft. Vote pirate, and victory is ours.